This letter brings a lot of memories. It's not only the mothers who lose when one of us crosses over to the dimension of the soul. The fathers suffer the same. Brothers, sisters feel the same. The loss of life, or what I call crossing a crossover, it's a painful experience if it is your child or your sibling. In so many ways, what happens to us at the point of conversion of the physicality to the dimension of life of the soul of the man? It's not that the loss can be physical. The loss can be by not being able to reach, to touch, to smell, to kiss your child. It's the same. And the punishment for those who create this condition is so worse than killing. In so many ways, when someone loses and crosses the line of life, what happened to us? First of all, we have to understand there are 3, maybe 4 different ways to lose life. We lose by accident, the way we've seen with this mother. We lose through age, and we lose through conditions that our physical body cannot take the condition where the emotion overtakes the physicality. I lost my brother this way at the age of 47. Just a stroke. I know the pain, and as the mother writes, I mourned for him for more than 7 years. The loss of the father and the mother did not have the same feeling, but the sibling, and the way, as many of you know, I lost my son for months. I don't know if he's alive or dead, thanks to animal behavior of humans. In so many ways, what happened to our soul? What happened to our next stage of life? What happens when you move to the next level? How come that a stage appears where the energy package, what we call the plasma of the soul of the man, loses or frees himself or itself from the shackle of what we call physicality? In so many ways, what happened to us as human beings? Is death only for mankind, or is death a cycle of one life and the beginning of the other, a pattern of existence in the universe? The answer is yes. The only soul which has lasted the life of the creation is the creator soul, and the rest are in the process of conversion and diversion and amalgamation and division and the rest of it. So no one has ever lasted the whole process of their life through the whole process of the creation from the time of the beginning of time, except the creator and his soul. So in so many ways, what happened to us, and why do we need these conversions to become from one to another, to become from the physical life to the soul? And why do we go through these processes? In so many ways, if you look at it, maybe you can look at a new dimension, a new angle in life. We are like a cup of water in a cup. We are poured from a cup into a bigger pot, maybe. And then we pour this pot into a bigger container. So, in fact, the cup is the same, the water is the same at the origin. Only now it has to interact with a bigger dimension. It has to interact with more waters of different cups which are poured into this first container, and then the next container becomes again a cage for the same water from the cup, but in the bigger dimension. This is what happens to the soul of the man. In the departure from the point of interaction with the physical dimension plasma of the soul of the physicality, we are freed in this dimension of the soul to a bigger dimension of the universe. And in the maturity in that point, we become to part of the life of the unicos, and then we become part of the bigger container, which is more freedom to interact in a, what we call the container of the love of the Creator. In so many ways, nothing happens as such, except that once we have seeded, our soul allows to grow. And in behavior and the conduct of a seed, it will be allowed to grow into spaces of galaxies. It is allowed to grow into the space of the universes, and then it becomes part of the process of the Creator soul. But what happens in this process, we gather more to realign, to reach, to understand the balance of the fields of the Creator, that when we become part of the fields of the Creator, we become perfect like Him, because we are part of His structure and totality. So, in a way, when man leaves his physical body and takes flight in the dimension of the soul of the man, man enters and takes position instead of being in the center of the brain of the man and encaged by the brain and the skull. Now it moves in the freedom of maybe a galaxy, a bigger span. It becomes the seed of the sun. Then in its strength and interactions become the seed of the universe. Then in interaction and in part of his work, the way the amalgamation of the fields and the division of the fields become part of the fields of the Creator. In a way, our soul does not stop growing. It does not stop expanding and gathering more fields, the way as we started at 2 small fields in the egg and the sperm of the mother and the father. We gathered energy, we became the body of the man and the soul of the man. We gathered energy, we went through the cycle of life in the dimension of the earth, and now we go through the next birth into a bigger dimension. In reality, the life of the soul of the man never ends unless you have committed crime. And that crime is judged by the soul of the man, not in the courts. Not done by the man's soul himself. In so many ways, even the time of the departure, even the time of accident of the death is all set by the time and interaction of the fields of the universe. In so many ways, nothing is accidental. Everything has a reason from the interaction of the souls of the past and what the souls have to deliver in the future. There is a very much, it's like you are supposed to be at a movie as a given time and given place, and the seat has been paid for, and you're going to be there because the loved ones you love are waiting for you on the seats and the chairs next to you or in the cinema. Life of the man is nothing but the show. In manifesting itself, to show itself, be it in the womb of the mother as a, what they call the fetus, be it in the physical dimension of the physicality of the man as a human, be it life in the presence of the unicos and the universe, and then in the presence of the creator. In so many ways, we are part of the same show, but depends how far you are from the creator, that you become from a speck of dust to a unicos and part of itself. How much do we walk to the front to be near, close to the screen? In so many ways, do we see our loved ones? Yes, they are. Yes, we will. It's part of the process. We lose the physicality, but in the dimension of the soul, our children, our siblings, our parents, our friends who we have interacted with, they become part of us in a new family which we take and we develop. When we were egg and sperm, it was just who's next to us to become more. We came out, we made friendship with more, we call them brothers and sisters, and mothers and brothers, and everything else we call. And now when the soul of the man goes to a bigger dimension, has a bigger family, has a bigger dimension of interaction, where the love of those who gave to him, it becomes part of him, and it becomes the impression of what he makes in his future life. What you took from the womb of the mother and what you took from interaction of the fields of your ancestors became you. Every cell of you is an impression of their lives, the color of your skin, the color of your eye, the shape of your kidney, the shape and the way you love. It's all been transferred and mixed, and you're that mixture. Now when we go to another dimension, it's the same again. We take those cells in the memory of love and connections with us. In a way, we never separate from our loved ones. We never separate because we are always in interaction. One man, when he passes through the line of the plasma of the physicality in the dimension of universe, you will feel the sun, you will feel your daughter. You are in a way in connection and dimension of love and care without physicality. Your soul recognizes the soul of the daughter or a son or a brother because you created it. It was created in the same house, in the same womb, from the same father. And so we never get to the point that we do not see our loved ones. Maybe in the physicality we will not, but in the dimension of the soul, we are in the same household. They are us and we are them. We love them and they love us. And that love, as I said, the beauty of the life on earth is the love which connects man. And in that process, we understand more that there is a purpose for life. There is a purpose in serving to bringing more together, that with it we become part of the creator, that we can give and serve more. In so many ways, what's the use of harming when you can love? What's the use of destroying when you can make? What's the use of hating when you can love? And all that adds up to collection of the fields that your soul will give and will take and will dictate its position in the universe, in its next step of growth, in its new home. There is no cage, but a bigger expansion of the environment. In a way, my teachings, when we say, and I always say, this village of the earth, this is a village of the earth for the soul of the man, not for the physicality of the man. In going and expanding to become part of the soul of the universe, to becoming part of a galaxy, you expand, you understand more, you see more, you understand a new way. And with it, you deliver and you bring about the condition for the others to show themselves, for other souls to interact, to develop themselves into the next step. There are a lot of mysteries in what happens to our soul on this departure. This was made by religions. In so many ways, if you go back and understand the totality, mankind could dictate its position of where he wants to be as a soul in earlier times, when he could understand the totality of his work, the totality of the work of his soul in the dimension of physicality. Many of you, many times, try to connect with your mothers and your fathers, your brothers, your sisters, your sons and daughters. You don't need to connect. You are already connected. They are part of you, and it's you, by feeling the loss, have created that barrier. Welcome them. In a way, the way you welcome them on their birth, the way you kissed and cuddled them as brothers and sisters. The cycle of life in the dimension of physicality is just a mirage. It's just interaction of the fields. It's just a phase of transition. And in essence, when you have created a magnetic field, like a magnet on the board, and with another magnet on the board, the connections are never lost. It's you, through the pain of suffering, which creates that separation. Rejoice the life. Never mourn, as the mourning brings nothing but separation. When you mourn, you become gravitational, and in a way you pull where the body of the man, the soul of the man cannot steal. Let the soul of the man to be free, and with it you find the freedom. In so many ways, pray for the soul of your loved ones and the ones you love, that they take what they need from you, that in a position they find comfort and peace, that they will be with you one day, and you will feel them in the dimension of the soul of the man. I do that every day with my lost son, and one day he will come back. I do that with my brother, and one day he will come back. I see him, I feel him every day. Try to reverse the process. Elevate the souls, that they find peace. Elevate their souls, that those with evil minds have no position and connection to them, that they find their freedom. In so many ways, one has to understand, very simply, why do we come to these positions of leaving our physical dimension? Why do we come to a position that we have to go through this experience? What are we to learn from it? Detachment or attachment? What is the purpose of life? Why some parents yearn to die to be with their lost child? Why don't the parents raise the soul of themselves in a correct way, that by raising the soul of their children, the soul of their life, that they always are together? Do not look for a physical confirmation. Go to your soul and find peace and connection through the soul. In a way, connect to the emotion of the soul, that your child will be with you, the loved one is with you. You don't feel the loss. The joy is that you are always together, even in the subconscious of feel of the life of the man. Never feel they have left you, because in a way they never left you. They're always connected to you. They take from you in the dimension of the soul, and you give to them in the dimension of the soul. The only problem with man is the dimension of physicality that he has to see and feel that he believes. And many times, many of you say, I have not seen, I do not feel. The feeling of the soul is separated from the feeling of the man. And it takes maturity of the time. And in reality, the soul brings you to the point to be able to understand one's emotion and one's devotion to another soul. Never try to reach out, to be in touch with the soul. Does not matter about the stage. Always think in one direction, that you praise the soul. You give from your soul, that it finds peace and elevation, and in that process, by giving, you find peace and elevation. That maybe what connection you have in the soul level with your child will manifest to the dimension of physicality that gives you the peace of mind, the peace of soul. In the coming situations and the development of the technologies which you will see in the enhancement unit, we create that condition. It is very easy. In so many ways, through the structure of the soul of the man, the soul of DNA and RNA of the man, we can connect to every soul that the man wants to be connected, and he has a connection from it. In a way, we connect the souls in the dimension of non-physicality, and it's not that when you go into the system, you'll be elevated to see whatever you lost. In a way, you elevate to see the truth within yourself. In a way, in how you want to connect. There is a very simple understanding. Do you dream of your child? Do you dream of your son? Do you dream of people who were passed on and they have taken a new dimension in the life? If you do, it means you are connected to them. It means you are in touch with them, but in the dimension of the soul of the man, not in the dimension of the physicality of the man. And this is what mankind has to understand. Never wish that I go to sleep and I have a dream and I see him. Elevate his soul, day and night, that he chooses to come to you. Does not mean physically, but in the connection of the realm of what we call dimension of the plasmatic fields of interaction. In so many ways, you can be aware and you're in touch with your son and daughter, but you do not feel it in dimension of physicality, because the soul of the man is at peace. He knows I have, I am. But the biggest pitfall with mankind is vision. He has to see, become blind to physicality, become deaf to physicality, and then become deaf to the smell of physicality, and you find the dimension to the dimension of the creator in the dimension of the soul. In so many ways, what happens to you when you're in coma? The soul is still here, but not in touch with the physicality. Exists, operates, and does everything else, but not with physicality. But it still exists in its own dimension, in a trap of life of physicality, but has not taken position and possession to leave the physicality in the dimension of the soul. And in real life, in reality, our soul, in respect to our physical dimension, most of the time of its operation and communication is in coma. It works inside with itself, with the souls, but we are not aware of it in the dimension of physicality. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's there, it supports life. And it's within the structure of the man. But it chooses to work and communicate in a different dimension than in dimension of physicality. Mankind has to become more educated to understand life is only a transition point. My cycle of life has been here for thousands of years and is completed. I know the time of my departure. I know the way I depart because I chose. And it will happen in the time and the place. I have no sorrows. In a way, I have done my work. I have done what I came here for. And in that process, I met many souls. I met the soul of Christ. I met the soul of Jesus and Moses. I slept and ate with many of those you dream of, as I am part of their souls. And the time for me has come to depart. In so many ways, I have to complete the last phase to lead to the creation of the new cycle for man and the universe. And my job is done, because I know my soul become part of the totality of the soul of the Creator, and it'll create more. In so many ways, there is no end to the cycle of life. As I become the part of the soul of the Creator, I become radiate and become part of the soul of another creation in the time and dimension. In so many ways, I will not forget my child or my brother when I was in cycle of man, as this field interaction of his life and the soul is within me and becomes part of me and part of my creation. And in so many ways, we never end. We just see and feel another phase, but in totality, the phase of the creation never changes. It's just the position and dimension, and which part of it we want to remember, which part of it we want to be part of, at what point and one position. In so many ways, now that we have shown and we have taught you how to be able to control the dimension of the physicality through the strength of the soul, many of you will detach from physicality. Many of you will live in a different dimension of life as you choose, but does not mean that you'll be with your son or your daughter or whatever. Because to go into that phase, it needs maturity of the time of the soul. If once, just now, because that you have managed to be able to pass your soul from the dimension of your physicality and travel the span of the universe, does not mean that you'll reside next to your son and daughter. But it means you have a bigger and stronger connection with all the lives you have been in field connection in the past and in the future. We did not appear out of nowhere. We are amalgamation of the fields of what was once the sun, and what was once the fields of the universe which created the sun, and what was the type of the unicos that it led to the creation of the universe. We are division of a division of many divisions, and in so many ways, when we become free from the dimension of physicality, in the nursery of the physicality of the body of the man, we become free to become part of another structure. Life never ends. Life is for eternity, because life is part of the eternal cycle of the fields of the Creator. In so many ways, the water you drink, it becomes part of you for a while, and then it becomes part of the where you drank and you collected it from the beginning. You were just a vessel to show the beauty of it in the shape of the body of the man. And this is exactly what the life is. We go through cycles, we manifest ourselves as part of the fields, maybe of the cell of the hand, maybe a cell of the eye, maybe as the energy of a photon to reach to another part of the body to transfer energy and information, and it's gone. And now becomes part of totality. Try to understand. No man ever, as a body of the man, lived forever, but every man has lived as part of the soul forever. It depends on you in how you would like to interpret or detach. None of you will ever remember Earth, where you came and your soul was created out of. But you will carry the emotions and love of Earth, the way it interacted with the fields of you as a soul and led to your creation. Loving is not the exclusivity of humanity. Loving is the soul and the only soul and the purpose of the creation and the Creator. With love, we spread, and with it, we deliver the emotions of the creation. As it said, I made you in the image of myself. And the Creator has only one image to give and nothing else. The rest is out of the interaction of what he gets, and in a way, as different field strength interact from the source of his creation, become emotion, become physical man, the tree, the plant, the stars and the galaxies and the universes. In essence, we are connected at the end of the string of the field, the strength of our soul, to the Creator, and be a part of it. So we never die. In essence, never ends, as it's all in the same container of the love and the creation of the Creator. In so many ways, life is very easy if mankind understands that he is in transmutation of the fields of the energy and life. As it's been said, man matures when he understands the transmutation of the energies, as life is nothing but energy from one to another, and one cycle to another, to manifest itself for a time, be it years in the life of the man, years in the life of the solar system, and the rest. In essence, we never died. And in essence, we never been born. In essence, we are part of the regeneration and the regurgitation of the field of the body of man. We just been regurgitated. We go from one field to another, and we manifest ourselves in different positions and places. In all my teachings, in all past years of teachings for thousands of years on this planet, there is one thing which we have learned from mankind. Mankind is kind. And the only problem with mankind is that he is not kind to himself. And that is where he has got lost in the process of understanding the process of creation and how he will create. In so many ways, we never lose our children. We never got lost from our parents. And in a way, as long as you can dream and you can see your dreams, does not matter if you see your children, your father or your brother in your dream or not, it means we are connected to the dimension of the creation and are somewhere there, busy with their lives. In a way, as I explained once, in a very cruel way, but in a very beautiful way. We bring our children up on this planet. We let them go to the next house, to the next village, to the next town, to the next country, to prosper, to have children, and to have a better life. In so many ways, we do the same with the soul of our children. We let their souls to travel, but not in the dimension of the next street and next village and next city or next town or next country, but in the dimension of the next galaxy, next universe and the rest of it. How often do we see our children who live in the same city as us? How often do we meet our children who live in a different country than us? It's the same. They have their lives. They have their structure. They are busy with what we created them to do. And so when they pass through the passage of physical life and they take their position, they have their own business. They have their own structure of interacting in their new life. Do you know all the friends and the lovers of your children? Do you know every food they eat? If they have time, they call home. Mama, I'm okay. Mama, I had this. Mama, I did that. It's the same with our souls. When our souls leaves the dimension of physicality and it takes in position and a position of the new dimension, it's busy with itself. Does not mean that everything is wrong when we don't hear, but in fact, our son is thinking, I love you, mother. I learned this cooking from my mom. How many times you've been with him when he teaches his child or his wife or his lover or his friends, I cook bread the way my mother did. But the mother is not there. But the memories and the beauties of what the mother has seeded in him has ended up with making that bread that he shares with the others. You're not aware of when he speaks about you and how you taught him to make the bread. It's the same. When our soul leaves the dimension of physicality, it's busy with its own. Just because we cannot see him every day or talk to him every day, doesn't mean he has forgotten about us. It has a reason. It's creating. It's busy with a new dimension in life which has taken place in its cycle of life. So, understand one point. One day, you might feel his presence, but seeing him is impossibility. As he has, in a physical dimension, has taken a new shape and a new place, a new clothes, a new friends, a new lifestyle. Listen to the teaching. I always say, what does your soul will create? What do you think about the grandchildren you have in the physical life? But what about when he passes on? The children that he creates in the span of universe are your grandchildren. He's busy with them. He's setting alive for many other souls. So don't ever suffer that is gone. Be joyful that it has led to creation of a new cycle of life. That one day when he has time, when he's taken the position and time, will be that he will come back and remember Mama and makes that call. Don't wait for that call. Praise him that wherever he is, he elevates the souls that he's interacting with. In so many ways, never look for a physical interaction. Understand the beauty of the creation and how this cycle will change for all of us. How many of you know the soul of your great-great-grandfather or mother? You never met them. They don't exist, but in essence they are within you. Their soul, a fraction of their soul, has been embedded in you and your siblings and siblings to come. But in essence, you still are blind to their existence within you. They are within every cell of you. The first man's soul is within the body of every one of us, because it has left the memory of it. That's how it knows it's a human. In so many ways, mankind has to learn that in the interaction of the soul of the man, the physicality is irrelevant. It's us who chooses the beauty by sight and not by the truth with the soul of the what carries that beauty. This is what I always said. Never fall in love with the skin deep. Fall in love with the soul. Then you understand. Many of you who've been around me are always spoken about the twin soul. The twin soul is where you share your life and where you share the soul and understanding of it, till that soul decides to take a new dimension, a new direction. None of us owns, but all of us interact. In so many ways, the dimension of the soul of the man is twinned with many souls. The children, the grandchildren, coming in so many processes in understanding more of. I'm waiting to see my granddaughter. I know within the next few days she'll be born. What will she carry from me? What will she carry in the essence of my soul in her soul? The only thing we can do is to give. that the passage of life from the womb of the mother to the dimension of physicality will be a safe one. My son has a birthday on the 6th of February. I don't know if he's alive. I don't know if he's happy or sad, but I pray for him. I give from my soul, because I put a lot of love in looking after him, making connection with him. And in that process, we make connections, we build that connections. And in that process, we share what we call love, which is we want to give, but we hope it will be received. In so many ways, we never die. And in so many ways, there is no death in the universe. Many cultures never mourn but celebrate the death, which means the passing and elevation of the soul, not the loss of the soul. You got to understand, mankind soon, very soon, with the new technologies and understanding of himself, will become to understand the process of the creation. In a very simple way, we blow the fields of the universe within the soul of the man for it to become mature to understand this process. We need to understand that even our life as our forefathers and our children is a transition of the fields within the structure of the environmental universe, and then unicos. And in so many ways, as I always said, we are a speck of a speck of a speck of a speck of dust from one of the specks of the fields of the love of the Creator. My answer to you as a Russian mother, Chinese mother, or in any shape of nationality, or a mother from any corner of the universe is simple. You're always with your child, and at the same time, you're part of him or her as she is part of you, and as you are part of your forefathers. We are all a transition vessel or collection of fields. Sometimes it has creation and emotion, and sometimes it's a field flows within the span of universe, and sometimes it becomes the soul in the condition of its environment to be a stone, or to be a cell of a wind, a matter in that wind, and the energies which moves that wind. In fact, we are all a transition of fields. And the only point for humanity is to understand this, that we are part of the plasma which is enveloped by another, and enveloped by another, and enveloped by another. We call it the body of the man, the planet Earth, the solar system, the galaxies, and the rest of it. We are always there, but we are part of. And in a way is how much we gather to be a bigger part in a bigger dimension, or we stay in the speck of dust as we never learned to love. In a way we never learned, I made the man in the image of myself. I gave, and the man has to give. And once you learn that detachment, man will grow. Humanity is nothing but name for a transition of time, of collection of the fields where the interaction creates manifestation of physicality only to the eye of those who can see and they feel the strength of the earth. And those who manifest themselves and they feel the strength of the earth and no more. In so many ways, as I always said, when I pass the street and I see a hearse with a coffin in it, I always say, take from me that you find your position in the universe. Does not matter what you have done in your life, where your dimension of the soul and physicality stays in balance with those who you have done wrong to, or they've done wrong to you. In so many ways, praise the soul of your enemies, that by praising and giving to them, they find peace. At least they are not enemy with the dimension of their own physicality and their own soul. Let those who burn with the fire of hate to carry it with themselves, and let those who burn with the fire of love spread it around the universe. Be those who give and never take, and be those who, like me, serves without condition and takes all the pains which comes with it. Because in a way, it allows the others to live, and in so many ways allows their soul to expand, to understand their own existence. Life of a man is not short. Man has made his life short. If you understand the beauty of it, as I always said, especially in past few weeks, I have found peace and happiness. And my peace and happiness has become a problem for those who always kept it in turbulence, because by taking from me, they could confirm they exist. And in so many ways, in finding peace, we find changes in the dimension and direction of our life. As I said, I have found peace, and I don't allow no one to disturb it. I have found happiness in a way I can share my knowledge with the people who can benefit by it, and they can spread it and evolve it. Happiness to me is being able to share freely without suffering. Happiness and peace to me is being able to give unconditionally, and it's for those who want to take from it, take what they need, but they can't take all of it. I have found peace. I have found what I call collective understanding of how to bring the balances of what it needs to be done to deliver to humanity, that I can take that step to leave the dimension of physicality. I've never been attached to life. I've been so detached, and that detachment has brought me many, many insights. And in so many ways, attachment is not a clothes, it's not a shoe you wear. Detachment comes from what you can give even to your enemies. You got to understand, many of you would have never stood a second of what I have been through to bring mankind to this point. And we even seen it in past 7 days. But I still pray, I still give to their soul. It means they need love, and they need the belief and the life of the Creator. In a way, why do they cry? Why do they do all this? Because they want the love which they had, they could not appreciate back, but it's gone. Because now it's expanded to the knowledge and to the love and the time of the creation, and in a way to bring peace to many of others. Because when the love has been there, was never appreciated and abused. In so many ways, why do we cry to get back? Why do we go and destroy when we don't have? Because we realize what the beauty we had, and we lost it through the misconduct. We lost it through misunderstanding. We lost it through accident. Either way is not there anymore to be. And fighting for it, to get it back, to see our child, to feel again, is in vain. Because that energy has to go in the process of development, of nourishing a new cycle of life with the others. The creation and the Creator never stops. Does not matter if a planet explodes, or a galaxy hits another, or billions of lives change position. Because He gives, and He knows all these interactions will have a benefit, will create a new life. And in that process, the division of energies become a new life in the totality of everything else that man has ever imagined. My answer, not only to this mother, to many of you who have lost loved ones, and many of you finding the solution or the answer through the teaching of the Keshe Foundation of the Soul Teaching, is simple. The soul of our loved ones is with us. but busy with their own work. The way you send a package of food, or you send a cake which your son loves by post to him from Russia to New York or to Africa, do the same. But this time, instead of the package of the cake, make a package of love and send it to the soul, through the media of the interaction of the fields, and it'll be received by him. It'll be consumed by him, and he'll remember the mother, even though he might not call to thank you, because once he opens, he knows the mother loves, and the love has delivered. Don't look for physical delivery that I could hold and kiss, but believe and understand that those kisses and gifts can be delivered in the dimension of the soul. We are always with them, and they're always with us, as we always been with our forefathers and shall be thereon. Never mourn, because if you do that, when you become a star and something happens to one of the planets, how much more can you cry? As I said once, why do we get the black spots on the surface of the sun? Is it mourning for what he has created is doing to itself in different positions of its solar system? Or is these black spots mourning for the forefathers at what they've done, that is in this position, that he has created such a life on earth full of pain and misery? Is the veil of darkness in trying to give more, as we call and we know about the black hole, that they might change, they feel the strength of his siblings like Earth and the others, that they might progress the way we send a package of love to our children, that they might enjoy the time and they might change. The soul of the man, once created from interaction of the fields, the way it itself was created decades before from interaction of other fields, never dies. Just rejoice that you were there to give life to it. Rejoice that you were there to share with it, and rejoice that it has found a place to create perfect children. That is, its creation carries the memory of what he carried from you into the next generation in the dimension of the universe and unicos. Death, separation of the physicality from the soul, is limitation of the understanding of the man. And that's all. How do we enjoy the presence of children in physicality? We have to enjoy the presence of the souls in all dimensions. And maybe one day we mature enough to understand that as we created and we're being created, as we create the new cycle, would they be part of us the way we wanted? Or would they take a new shape as they correct the misconduct of us? But one thing remember, we create, and in that creation there is the wisdom of the Creator, and that's all that matters. How we share this wisdom, and with how many trillions and billions, the planet, the star, or just a child. The love for all is the same from the Creator. I hope I managed to answer the mother in Russia, the father in Arizona, a man in Linz, that we all feel the loss and we all wait for the reunion. But in fact, we have never been separated. But it's us, by elevation of the soul, will feel and carry the memories which is alive with us, with them, and through us and with us. One day mankind will become wise to understand there has never been a death, there shall never ever be a death, as If the death isn't true, there would have been no creation, as the creator would have not existed. In so many ways, never worry about or miss what is the soul you have created, as it has its own life, and we are there just to create that soul. And our job is transmutation and transportation, and we are nothing but the deliverer of love and soul to our loved ones, and the ones we will love. I hope I have managed to answer it in a very deep way, but opening your eyes to many dimensions and facets of creation and the soul. What we have created, not being visible to us, does not mean that it doesn't exist. But in fact, it might exist better than, have a better dimension and life than what we could imagine for.